What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Iron Maiden. We're going to go back to a tune from Fear of the Dark. And it's crazy timing. There's someone who's commented on a few of the videos. I think the name is Noksivs. If I'm not saying that right, I do apologize. But they've commented on multiple videos already, and it was really cool that, they had some nice comments about the reactions I've done so far. Also had a suggestion to react to Afraid to Shoot Strangers, and I, in fact, was already going to react to that tune, so it was crazy timing. I mean, it was really right near the top of the list. So here we are. This tune, I really enjoyed it when I first heard it for multiple reasons. One, the guitar work is crazy, and that's something that this person mentioned in their comment. They're like, hey, the solos and just the melodic guitar work in general is unbelievable. I fully agree. But also, it's crazy, this tune fits. I've done a reaction to Subhumans, Religious Wars, which context is a little different, but it has a very similar sort of expression of ideas. I reacted to a tune by Anti-Flag called The Smartest Bomb, a very similar sort of set of ideas given in that song. I reacted to a tune by Dogshite, some friends of mine who are techno people, but also old school punk rockers. They did a song called Soldier, written by Chris Knowles, aka Chris Liberator, and it's about the same concept. And what is the concept, you ask? Well, this song, as far as I can tell, and again, lyrics are interpretational, let me know if you have a different take on this, but it's ultimately that there are many people who enlist with this idea of, they're going to do, the right thing and serve their country and so on. But because of the nature of leaders and their sort of, arrogance or vanity or psychopathy, end up deploying militaries and troops in scenarios around the world where it ends up that people are killing other ordinary people just trying to do the right thing and so on. And ultimately, these politicians then send young normal people to do their bidding, and they end up either dying or killing, ultimately for things that in many cases are not particularly savory or meaningful or worthwhile. And war itself is often, and indeed is by definition, destructive and lethal. So again, I think this song is sort of written from the point of view of a soldier who's uncertain about what he's going to be doing. He's not exactly sure who he's going to be fighting, and he's worried that some of these strangers that are going to be put in front of him for him to engage in lethal mortal combat with will ultimately be just kind of like him, just normal people who've been sort of, told to go out onto a battlefield somewhere and shoot at the people on the other side. And so again, this idea that I want to do the right thing, but now I'm kind of out here at the whim of someone in some building who wrote something, and signed a piece of paper, and now I have to go shoot these other people who, again, might just be ordinary people. So yeah, that's what I sort of take away from this song. I do remember reading, and part of my interpretation, in fact, it's informed by reading an interview with Bruce Dickinson, and he was saying something to the effect of, it was in relation, at least most recently, the more immediate aspect of the writing, although again I think it's one of those songs that it might be topical, but it also speaks to sort of timeless themes of modern humanity anyway. But he was saying it was in relation to the first Iraq War, where American and British troops were involved in ultimately attacking parts of Iraq, but then leaving Saddam Hussein in power. And again, this idea that these politicians they order these things which lead to the deaths of normal people and make normal people shoot other normal people. And then in the end, they sort of well, we met in a palace, we shook hands, and now, we'll leave him in power, and the whole thing, wasn't as big as a deal as we made it, and so on. So I think the suggestion by Bruce is that, it was a perfect example of the way in which normal people who are enlisted end up dying on and killing on battlefields for people who, don't have their best interests at mind and don't particularly care about them when they do die or have to kill. So that's where I take this. Let me know if you have a different take. Like I said, I really do enjoy Iron Maiden's lyrics for so many different reasons. The way they cull from history and literature and philosophy and religions, and also the way that many of their themes and songs have more optimistic or like human positive values expressed through the words than I would have originally expected, which, hey, that's on me. That's just, my own ignorance about heavy metal, and, it was more about the genre overall, not about Maiden specifically. But when I started listening to Maiden, I was just blown away by their lyrics for a number of reasons, and one is that many of them resonate with me, like morally, and in some ways feel related to a lot of lyrics I listen to, like Subhumans and some other punk bands. So again, shout out to Iron Maiden musically and lyrically. I did want to mention the Fear of the Dark album cover is one of my very favorites. I do like the Somewhere in Time one a lot. I love that futuristic, dystopian, urban kind of vibe with, Eddie with the gun. But this one is really fantastic as well. Shout out to the band. Scene here looking very awesome. And also the disc on this one looks crazy. I didn't remember that when I reacted to it, or until I reacted to it the other time when I did Fear of the Dark itself. It's the same thing behind it. But anyway, let's get to it. This is Afraid to Shoot Strangers on the Iron Maiden album Fear of the Dark, which I believe is 1992. So here we go. Already the guitar work, right? Melodic, like ethereal. Feels like an eternal battle. Deep down, there's no other way. No trust, no reasoning, no more to say. I forgot exactly when it came in. I've been kind of waiting for that for about a minute, and when it hit, it's still like, oh shit. Couple times where I've said there are like instrumental interludes in Iron Maiden songs that feel like they could fit in a Castlevania game. This is another example. I don't know if that sounds weird to people, but it just hits that like dramatic, melodic passion that I guess I associate with those games. Love the way that comes in. I don't want to do that either. talking about it, but their tempo shifts, like, the precision is unbelievable. Their musicianship is, I guess, what I'm saying. And every song is like this multifaceted journey. I must confess ignorance on a lot of these songs. I don't know when it's like Murray or when it's Gers. Yo. Singing out. Love that drum roll into the next verse. The chorus, sorry. Bruce is sort of combining his like vibrato, like operatic style with the raspier style, like in the same section. Motherfucker. Oh my god. This one might even be more insane than the other one. And another tempo shift. They play this when I see them later this year. It's even better than I remembered it. As I said, I remember the lyrical content maybe a little bit more. I do remember keying in on the guitar work when I first heard it, like in retrospect. And maybe, you know, when they wrote that comment below the video, that person reminded me like, hey, yeah, the guitars in that one really are excellent. But yeah, hearing it now, like, I can't, the number of shifts and sort of tempo changes and the progression of the tune, the evolution of the tune, it really did like hit me in a way that beyond what I remembered. And again, both of those guitar solo segments were amazing. The second one maybe hit me even harder. And again, Bruce's voice, I love the way you get variety. You know, some songs I think he veers more toward one way, like Be Quick or Be Dead, I think he veers more toward the raspy singing. You know, Hallowed Be Thy Name, it's more the big operatic, like vibrato. But in this one, it felt like he was kind of dancing on the border between the two styles and kind of doing both, even in the same segments, which is really dope. Yeah, so I really do like that tune. I had actually forgotten how good it was. I was mentioning when I did the Fear of the Dark reaction, I was like, oh, I think that is the, you know, the title tune is the best one on this album. It's one of those things where like you run into it where you say like, oh, but that one is so good too. Oh, but that one is so good too. Oh shit, I guess I don't have a favorite. I guess I have a bunch of like, they're all first among equals. So yeah, I don't know. I may have to revisit my, you know, ranking, if you will, the tunes on this album. Nevertheless, let me know what you think. Let me know if that's a big one for you. I know for at least one or two people it is. There's another song that people have been asking me to react to, which is, I think, Empire of the Clouds on Book of Souls. So yeah, I'd like to get to that one. But do let me know if there's another Maiden tune you'd like to hear reacted to. Just so excited to go through this catalog, and I'm starting to get a little deeper in it now, so it's just really enjoyable. I hope you're here for it. I really do appreciate the people watching and listening. Have a good day, have a good night. I'll see you next time. Peace.